Yo guys, what's going on? Life of Rio here, and I'm bringing you guys my Ferrox review. Now, the thing is, this is a Corpus spear gun, and it hits pretty hard. Now, from me saying that, most people are probably thinking, "Oh, okay, good, it hits hard." No, we're gonna have to go into a full-on breakdown on where you're gonna be using this weapon, where this weapon is going to fall off. Should you spend your time and forma into this weapon? Because we all know we got a lot of tryhards in this channel, man, that want to know weapons that you're going to be taking to do long runs or endurance runs, or weapons that you're going to use to take out high priority targets. So I'm going to give you all a full-on analysis on that one. Now, this part right here is definitely my favorite. The alt fire is freaking amazing. You can set up so many different synergies, and the alt fire combos with whatever element you have on, so you can make it do regular like corrosive and stuff while it's pulling them in. But at the same time, it tends to proc electricity and magnetic a lot. But the synergy on how you can combine it is amazing. So let's go ahead and get the build out the way. This is a 4-forma build. This is going to be max hitting hard mods, man. We're going to put on some prime chamber and 90% mods with the crit chance. Now, this weapon has a lot of crit to it, and so on paper, we all know how it is. Crit is cool for anything of regular content. Now, if you want to go above high level, you're gonna need some status there, and this is kind of where the weapon kind of falls off. It does not have the status that it needs. The fire rate is too slow, but overall, let's give it a little bit of positivity. The weapon crit chance is amazing. The crit damage, it hits really hard. It hits like a truck. The thing about this is you can synergize it so well with Ash. As you guys know, I'm going to use it with Ash anyway. Now, with other frames on how you're going to use this weapon, let's say you're building for the Void, you're building for corrosive. It's going to hit hard, period, because if you're under level 100s, any weapon can really take out any enemy at most of the time if it's formed correctly. But the thing about this one is that the fire rate is so slow, and it's not really slow for the weapon, it's just slow to perform the status that you need to help take down higher level targets. And that's the problem, to where the weapon kind of falls off and to where it kind of falls short, because it makes you do extra work for no reason. Another thing about this weapon that I really don't like is that the lack of status. And so it has a lack of status, and so that kind of like really put the weapon in a bad little spot for me, because I know when I'm doing longer runs, or just not even anything crazy, just like up to level like 170 or 180 ish, if I want to just have fun, the weapon I can't use it anymore unless I'm stripping enemies with Ash's first ability. And when I use the weapon with any other enemies, I really don't like it. Now, the thing about this one is that really got me with this as well. One good positive is that it is a hit scan weapon. It is a hit scan weapon, which is awesome. But the thing that gets me is that the charge mechanic to it, I really don't like it. It has the same charge mechanic, basically like the Opticore, to when it's fully charged, it instantly fires, and I don't like that, especially with a weapon like this. And then the beam, I want to point this out, the beam to which it shoots, the little energy pulse to which it shoots out, is so skinny that it's so easy to miss the target. So you really have to have pinpoint accuracy with this weapon, and hitting moving targets is extremely difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, because when it's fully charged, you don't get a lot of time, because it charges pretty quick. Now, since it charges pretty quick and you're aiming and a moving target is going, as soon as it's max charge, it's gonna just release the fire for you. And that is one thing that I don't really like about the weapon. I wish when it was like a bow, to where when it's fully charged, you can just hold it and release it. So that type of firing mechanic really is something that I can't get behind too much. But other than that, how does the weapon perform against regular content? The weapon is great for regular content. You can use it in your sorties. You can use it in just regular runs. The weapon is fine for stuff like that. And like I said, the alt fire is freaking amazing. It captured me all the way through. I've tried it with different combinations. I'm telling you guys, you can hold them all together. You can throw a glaive there. You can just do whichever combo you want. You'll see later on in the video to where I hold them there as well, and then I use Ash's Blade Storm to lock them all in one area, and then just Blade Storm everybody. Seek and Shuriken to where I can hold them all in one spot as well. And then while I'm holding them in one spot, I can definitely just strip the armor of just a group of enemies at one time. And as you can see here, it hits hard when it crits, and on headshots it does really fantastic damage. but you're definitely not gonna get headshots a lot with this weapon. And as you can see, against level 130s, it kind of struggles to really take them out as quick. So for a weapon like this, if you're gonna be trying to do solos, this is not a weapon for solos. If you're trying to get, you know, really high on doing your solo content, because this weapon, it does not keep up your DPS quick enough. Your KPS is not really going to be that much of a thing with this weapon because it's just so slow. It's nothing wrong with the weapon's damage and potential. It's just the design behind it on how slow it fires and the fire rate. And I felt like it should have had like a AoE, some kind of AoE to it other than the alt fire when it shoots. But that's just it. The pinpoint accuracy is amazing. It is terrible with heavy cal. This is not a weapon, and I'll show you guys a little bit later. This weapon with heavy cal is extremely bad. So you do not want to put heavy cal on here because of the pinpoint accuracy, and it would be in hit scan. You'll be shooting in 2 different directions. So it's pretty bad for that. And so heavy cal, with putting that on, would really lower your DPS overall. So that's one thing. And then having on heavy cal will also lower your status chance because all of the ammo, all of your shots aren't hitting one target. So your status is then going to be cut in half. So that's one thing that you got to look into. But we all know, for doing long runs, doing whatever you're doing, this is not going to be a weapon that you're going to use for anything like that. Other than that, man, the synergy with the alt fire with separate frames to how you can put it together is really freaking amazing. You can set this up in so many different ways, especially with Nova. Now, the thing about this weapon is, guys, is that it really forces you to have a great secondary when you use the alt fire. Using the alt fire and having a great secondary is definitely a must, because as soon as you throw it, you switch to your secondary. And as you guys can see, you're gonna need something like either the axe stilettos, the static core, just really strong, hard-hitting weapons. The pox would be great with this weapon because it pulled them all in a circle for you. So that's other things that you can look at, different avenues on how to be creative with this weapon. But overall, like, if I was to, that was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Come out of the blade storm with the trickery into the nullifier bubble. Okay, I just had to point that out. But as you can see, it works very well for something like that. If you want to get all those enemies marked at one time and hit them with a max 3 mark of Ash's ability, that's one thing that's amazing. But other than that, I don't really see how the weapon really upholds itself in higher level content. So if you're doing regular content, definitely this is going to be the weapon for you. Keep this weapon. If you're just doing regular content, I would say put deformers into it. If you want a weapon that you're going to be doing long defenses, at least up to level 60 defenses, anything over level 100, anything over level 110, this weapon is not going to be for that content because it's going to be so slow, and any other weapon that you could have had would have got the target out of there a lot quicker. So you got to think about it. But if you're a fan of the weapon and you just want to have the weapon leveled up, then by all means go ahead and do so. I am not here to tell you not to pick it. I am just here giving you my honest feedback about the whole thing. So with something like that being said, you can have very fun with this weapon. The charge mechanics, I really do not like the charge mechanics. I think it really holds the weapon back, especially in the content which is Warframe. The content moves very, very quickly, and so it kind of throws you off with something like that, with it being the charge mechanic being so hard to hit your target because it shoots it for you. And that's one of the reasons to why I wasn't a big fan of the Opticore. But with that being said, I will catch you guys later on the next Warframe video. Hope that you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up, and shout out to all of my new subscribers. You guys have an amazing day.